Hello and welcome back to Totally Random Thoughts, the podcast where we talk about totally random shit. I'm Brie.
I'm Tag. And together we are
Brie and Tag.
See how that works?
Wow.
Welcome back. Welcome back to week 2 of
season 2.
Season 2. 2-2.
Dos.
How are you, Brie? Welcome back this week.
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm swell and nifty and neato.
I feel like work's been crazy for both of us.
Yeah. Well, my work's always crazy.
Yeah, same. But
Run your own business. You know how that goes.
Yep. I do.
Well, it's you run a business that's not truly yours yet. But
well,
it's
my family's, but my name's not on it yet.
Yeah.
So
mine is on
but
mine.
I run it, yeah.
Mine is on mine.
Well, you basically are the business.
Yes.
You provide all the services.
Well, I have Heather too.
That's true.
Well, Heather doesn't work for me though. Heather's just it's an amazingly cool relationship. So, whenever I talk to people, I say my business partner, but she's not really my business partner because she owns her own business, but she doesn't have a big enough business to have a space, so she uses my space, and we have an arrangement for how to work that out. But everybody thinks that we're in business together, and we usually don't correct
fine,
anybody. Yeah, we just leave it as
You're not
is.
gonna explain that whole thing.
Not at all.
Just be like, yep, that's it.
Yep.
You guys work really well together. Too.
Thanks. Well,
the
she's really cool.
vibes in both of your establishments are freaking awesome.
Thank you.
And I'm so glad you opened up the wellness side. We talked about that a little bit last season, I think, with what your goals were for that right around the time you opened it.
Well, the goal is bigger, but I can't afford to do the goal right now. Because I spoke to
cost of living.
Yes and no. It's not even really that. So I want to expand again. So since I've opened my business, I went from an in-home trainer to opening my first space, which was about 180 square feet.
That me and his wife basically forced him into.
Then 2.5 years later, opened another space that was just shy of 900 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
Then last year, opened another space.
In the same plaza.
2 doors down, that added another 1,600. So I'm at like 2,400 square feet at this point. And so I've grown really nicely. But I never want to be paying someone else's rent. That's always been a thing for me. I don't want to pay a rent.
Yeah.
I want to own the space. And I found a piece of property that I want to buy and put a building on it and own everything.
Yep.
And I'd rather pay a mortgage than pay the space. So
yep.
I found the land. And I put a plan together, and I knew exactly what I want to do. And went to the bank. I called Brie to look at things, and I've sort of found what the property would cost, what I can make an offer for, and spoke to the bank. And I know that the whole project is going to be roughly $900 to $1 million. And the bank looked at my whole picture, and they said, "We can do this. You have the credit for it. We can make this happen. You just have to come up with $200,000 on your own."
Yeah.
Because they'll only cover about 80% of the project because it's a new build. So one option is I have to come up with $200,000. The other option is I have to come up with $100,000, and then an SBA loan would cover the other 10%.
The small business, yeah.
Which still means I got to find $100,000. So that's
not chump change.
That's not chump change, but it's not truly a lot if I can find a couple of investors to each kick in.
Yeah.
Then it's still a doable project. So that's where I am right now. We're not dead in the water, but we've definitely I've had to slow my plans down a little bit, knowing that I need to find a couple of investors to front either 100,000 or 200,000, so that I can go back to the bank and be like, I have the 20. Let's get going with the 80 and make this happen, and then I can build my own place and own everything and make it truly a spot I want it to be. Because I love the place we're in now. Honestly, the environments that we've created in the fitness end and in the wellness end.
Oh, they're great.
Two very different, they don't even seem connected, which is great. Because they shouldn't be. One's high energy workout and one is relaxation and recovery. But again, it's still paying somebody else's rent right now. So in the works, hopefully down the line we'll be growing again. But yeah, it's a bit on hold until I can.
It's tough, and with
find
interest
that 20.
rates right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Although they've come down a bit.
A tiny bit.
Yeah.
It's still not necessarily substantial enough to make a big enough difference for people, though, unfortunately.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme.
And the funny thing was the mortgage payment. If I came up with the 20%, the mortgage payment was only like $200 more than the rent I'm paying right now.
Oh yeah.
If I only came up with 100, then it would be like an extra $1,000 a month. So then you sort of have to sit back at the big picture and amortize out. Is the extra 100 to bring the mortgage payment down worth the payback on the loans? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So is it worth $12,000 a year? That's really what it comes down to. So it's a lot to figure out, but it's a lot that's still in process, and it's going to happen.
This is what so many
It
people...
is going to happen. It's just a matter of now the time frame it might be a little different than my original planning.
Right, and the circumstances in which it will happen under.
Right, but there'll be a point where I just buy the land and put up a building, and it's going to be awesome. It's awesome.
Oh, it'll be fantastic.
Vision, the whole vision is there, and yeah, I can make it come to fruition without a doubt. So
you make everything that you want to happen.
And that's the way it should be. That goes back to part of the show last week. You just step up and make it happen. You don't bitch and whine about what you can't do.
Create your own
destiny. I live on
destiny.
the Yoda principle. I jokingly say I live on the Yoda principle. Do or do not. There is no try.
Yeah, you've said that the entire almost decade that I've known you.
Yeah.
So
You either do or don't. I tell my clients all the time, I have 4 garbage words in the gym and kind of in life. Hope, want, wish, and try. They're garbage.
You've yelled at me so many times for saying, I'll try.
I'll try. Well, then just do it. Stop trying. If you try,
you're
He's planning to fail.
He's literally like Yoda.
You'll plan to fail if you're trying. Well, I really wish I could. No, that's for Santa Claus. Wishes are for Santa and the Easter Bunny. Go do it. Well, I really want to. If you wanted to, you'd be doing it. She yells at me that I live too black and white. But black and white is what gets it done.
No. I'm not. Okay. Black and white can be very beneficial in certain circumstances, such as that, with your motivation and your dedication and whatnot.
Yes.
But I think sometimes, yes, you do think in very, very black and white tones and circumstances where it's like certain situations with certain people can be a little more nuanced than what you're expressing.
No.
Agree to disagree.
I look at things very simply.
So you're simple-minded, is that what you're saying?
I do. I am simple-minded. I'm simple-minded in the effect that if you want to be happy, be happy. No one can make you happy. Nothing can make you happy.
Well, it all comes from within.
You have to just choose to be happy. Everything is a choice. You can choose to be unhappy or you can choose to be happy. Wake up first thing in the morning and say, I am choosing that this is going to be a good day. Or you can wake up and go, I have to do
So what
that.
you're saying is it's literally all just about your own mentality. It's how you react to things.
Absolutely is. And go look at the highest paid speakers who are giving out the most bought advice, and they will tell you the same thing. Go look at the most successful businessmen. They will tell you the same thing. Go look at anybody who's doing what everybody else is saying they wish they could do. And what's the one thing they do? They wake up and they choose to not lose. They choose to be better than yesterday. They choose. Not everything is perfect, but and not everything is, oh, I'm done. This is great. But you have to choose to be part of the process, where a lot of people are choosing to still be who they were yesterday, and then complain about that they're not somewhere further than
a lot of people live in fear of failure.
That's your choice. Failure is the best place you could ever go.
I'm not saying it's not a choice. I'm just stating the fact.
Fail 1,000 times if you can. But here's the thing. I've said this a billion times.
People take failure too personally.
That's their choice. That's a choice.
I'm not negating what you're saying.
But see, it all comes back to that.
I'm reinforcing your statements with the reasoning of a lot of people.
Yes. So I have said 100 million times in my life, I've never failed. I've never failed once. I've had a lot of learning experiences. Because to me, if you do something and it doesn't work and you do it again and you do it again and you do it again, now you're failing. Because you're not learning from it. You're not getting better from it.
Well, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So.
Right. And as we talked about earlier, your habits are no longer habits once you know you have it. Your habits and your tendencies are
we had a borderline argument about this in my kitchen earlier.
We did not have an argument. We had a spirited discussion. We had a spirited discussion.
But I think it's because I I was misunderstanding what you were saying because you were just repeating the same point without further explanation. So I took it as you were just stuck in your black and white mentality and you thought someone could just wake up one day and be like, light switch. Nope, not doing that anymore. And I was like, well, no, like it might take time and like trying and failing and like, and there's going to be some nuances to it. And then once we finally realized that was my point, you were like, oh, well, yeah. And I was like, Jesus Christ, we just sat here for 20 minutes.
Yes, but the thing about it is, you keep going back to, well, they're afraid of failing. Well, if they're afraid of failing, they're never even going to take the process. They're never going to try to fail.
That's
you
a
have
problem.
to fail. You have to fail. Every day, fail at something and learn from it. You are now a step better than yesterday.
Because
but the thing
failing
is,
at least
most
means that
people
you
go,
tried.
well, I have the habit of, oh, no, you don't. You had the habit until you realized it. Because once you know you have the habit, now you're choosing to have it. Habits are unconscious. They're subconscious, right? They're a part of you don't realize that you're doing until you realize you're doing it. Now, if you choose to do that again, it's not a habit; it's a choice. This is scientific, and once you start making those choices,
your brain might subconsciously want to continue the habit, and you catch yourself, and then you have to make the choice to be like, nope, I gotta stop.
And that's
like,
where most people will fall on the crutch of, well, that's just the way I am. No, that's the way you're choosing to be.
Once you're aware of it.
But if you can say that's just the way I am, you're aware of it.
Oh no, I've had this argument with like my husband a million times over things. No, I know,
and I've talked to you about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, it is black and white. It is very easy. It's a hard process.
Yeah.
But the choice to join the process is easy. Just choose to do it. Wake up tomorrow and say...
People get too hung up in their own pity parties and fear of failure.
That's their choice.
I know. I'm just saying.
But you're saying it like, but they get hung up on their fear of failure, and that's just the way they are. That's how it's coming across.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's the smart move to make. I'm just saying like that's what so many people do.
And that's why the WNBA is going to keep failing. Because they're choosing to be exactly what they'll always be.
And where they've always been.
Yes.
So this is
25 years now.
I know this is a very hot topic right now in sports world. John brought this situation to my attention because it's been coming up in your For You page a lot, right?
Well, yeah, because I follow sports a bit.
I don't.
So I don't follow I've never followed the WNBA, but I have been watching.
I feel like a lot of people don't follow the WNBA.
Yeah,
So I want to preface this by saying I know this is a very hot topic right now, and it can be a sensitive topic for certain people, but we're literally just having a discussion. Don't come at me.
Oh, come at us.
Go
ahead, do it.
Remember, everyone's entitled to their own view of things. And we can have a discussion.
You're being incredibly scared of this one.
Because I've been warned.
Is this because your sister-in-law was like, they're going to jump all over you?
Well, I've heard a couple other things. Like once I started looking up on TikTok and stuff too, I was like, oh, Jesus. Like people are like really getting into this topic.
What did you hear? I want to hear it.
No, just like because now you're bringing up racism and feminism and all these different topics that like people are interlacing with this situation. I don't know why I did that. But it's I don't know why, but it's like a sensitive topic for some people, I guess. Not that other things we've talked about in the past are not, but I also just want to preface this. I'm not a big sports follower. Hockey's probably the one I pay the most attention to, and even then, it's like off and on at best. So, and like, obviously, I live in America. I kind of like hear about football whether or not I want to, but yeah, I don't really follow sports, so I had zero freaking clue what even all of this was, who these people were.
I look at it simply as a business person. They're doing bad business.
Oh, yes, I can definitely look at it from that perspective and analyze it and be like, wow, y'all are dumb.
They're doing bad business. That's the only thing I look at it as. I don't look at it from the other standpoints. And there's a million standpoints on it right now.
That's what I mean.
I look at it as simply as a business that has been complaining about not being successful, and right now they're purposely making sure that they're not successful.
No, well, no, I agree with that, but that's why I was kind of giving the little. I preface this because like you just said, we're looking at it from more of the business perspective and analyzing the association as a whole with this whole situation. But why there's a lot of people fueled up about this is a lot of people are looking at it from a more
which is stupid.
Emotionally driven perspective.
Which is stupid because it has nothing to do with that. I'm a numbers person. I look at all my numbers for my business and I decide if my business is being successful. And you can look at the last year versus the entire history of the WNBA and you can understand very simply in very simple number terms why they were successful last year.
Right.
And there's only one reason.
Right.
There is only one reason, and her name is Caitlin Clark. And that's not a race thing. And that's not a basketball thing. That is not. It's the reason Michael Jordan sold tickets. It's the reason Brock Lesnar sells tickets. It's the reason The Rock sells tickets. It's the reason Larry Bird sold tickets. It has nothing to do necessarily with the talent as much as it is something about that player. There's a reason people go to see certain movies for certain movie stars and not for other movie stars who are not as big. And
honestly, I feel like it's like similar to pop stars or actors and actresses.
Yep.
It's kind of like just luck of the draw too, with who just ends up for some reason being like that.
There are
big.
some stunningly amazing, unbelievably, disgustingly talented musicians out there. And then there's Taylor Swift. And Taylor Swift is not a great musician. Not a phenomenal singer, not a great, unbelievable songwriter when it comes to technical stuff. But that girl is the best entertainer on the planet who writes the catchiest earworms that hook people in, and she knows how to market, and she knows how to run a fan base, and she knows how to keep people with her for 25 years and build a billion-dollar business. Has nothing to do with her talent. She is, by all accounts of music, which has been my life, a very mediocre musician. She is a brilliant business person and a very, very, very unbelievably brilliant performer, entertainer. That is going on in the WNBA right now. And they're doing really bad business because of their egos. Because we've been doing this forever and we couldn't get the job done.
Forever, so and since 1997.
Yeah, well, some girls are not in the league anymore, right? Mm-hmm. So to them, it's forever. Their career is come and gone. And they're looking back, and they're criticizing a girl who quadrupled the income of the league last year. And it's undeniable that it was her. You can follow the money very, very easily. Follow the ticket sales. Follow the merch sales. It all points to one person, and I'm sorry, Angel Reese wasn't it. Nobody else was it. It was Caitlin Clark. The average ticket sale in the league was 6,400 tickets. League-wide, 6,400 tickets. The Fever, which is Caitlin Clark's team, had an average ticket sale of 6,019. 6,019 in 2023. In 2024, they averaged 17,000 plus tickets a game. Only one thing changed, and that was Caitlin Clark.
Being on the team.
Yes. Now, arena to arena, team for team, still average 6,400 tickets, except when they play the Fever. Then they sell 17,000. It's a simple mathematical equation.
See, okay, so I knew nothing I still know next to nothing about
Case in
all of
point,
this until he told me
this
about
season, this past weekend, Indiana played Chicago. Chicago is in an arena that holds around, I think, 16,000. They upped the game into the Chicago Bulls Arena, which holds close to 30,000, because Caitlin Clark was coming.
Oh, but then she got injured.
Then she got injured, and ticket sales went from $157 a ticket to $25 a ticket on game
That's
day.
crazy.
It is simple math.
Yeah.
That's how I'm looking at it. I am not looking at race. I'm not even looking at
But a lot of
basketball.
people are.
I'm looking at math. I'm looking at a business. So what have they been doing? They have been letting her get cheap shotted. She's currently hurt because of a foul that the girl should have been thrown out of the game for. The things that they are doing to this girl in the NBA would get you thrown out. You would be thrown out of the game. You would be suspended. In the WNBA, they're letting it happen. She was the recipient of more than 50% of the flagrant fouls last season. One player got hit with more than 50% of the flagrant fouls, was the victim of more than 50% of the flagrant fouls in the league last year.
Now, why do we think so? But it's the other players doing that to her.
The other players doing that. And I'm going to say it like I said it when Megan Rapinoe was complaining that the women's soccer team wasn't making the same money that the men's U.S. soccer team was making. You don't sell the tickets. This, again, comes down to simple business. When you're drawing
the
6,000
WNBA has been
people
around
a game.
since 1996.
96.
97.
First games were played in 1997.
And we were just researching this and looking this up earlier. And
they draw around 6,500 a seat.
But they've never been
at
profitable.
around $75 a ticket. So what's the math on that, right? If you go
and you're paying
6,500
you're
seats
paying all these
times
players'
75
salaries.
a ticket, you're making $487,500 per game.
And you got to pay
2 teams, coaches, expenses, arena fees, everything else.
Film crews.
Everything. That
broadcasting fees.
They did not have a big broadcasting deal. Oddly enough, this year, they signed a much bigger broadcasting deal. You wonder why. Because their attendance went up. The average attendance went up. They landed bigger deals. They had bigger merch sales. So you get these girls who want to be paid in the millions of dollars, but yet the team doesn't make enough to sustain that for one person. Never mind a whole team.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers don't lie at the end of the day. It's just if it physically can't happen, it can't happen.
And they get subsidized by the NBA.
I think again, all that I know regarding this situation is just like doing a tiny bit of research and watching all the videos that you sent me.
Any other sport,
the last 2 weeks, but
any other sport, this would be headline news of people getting thrown out of games.
Yeah, but I think,
and yet now we're into season 2, and they've fouled her in so many bad ways that she's on the sideline hurt.
And to me, again, looking at it from the business perspective, I'm flabbergasted because I'm like, how in the world can you guys be letting this happen, and why don't you want to do better, and what is going on? But at the same time, I'm looking at it and I'm like, females, like, women can be catty bitches. And
yep.
But
they want to talk about being,
but the league and the way that they're running it is perpetuating this toxicity and this idea of the other players pitting themselves against this poor girl because, I mean, one, jealousy's a bitch. And I think there's a lot of jealousy going on in this situation. And the fact that, okay, people are going to act out if that's the way that they handle things and can't control themselves. But the fact that the league is allowing it, that's what's gross to me. And that's just, it's bad business.
And that was the thing, too, is that they're allowing it and the commissioner is allowing it. And the owner even said, so Caitlin Clark won Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year. And the owner had the audacity to say,
now,
she
is
should
the
have
owner
turned
also the commissioner?
No, she owns the league.
Okay.
And she said that Caitlyn should have turned it down, and Time Magazine should have given it to the whole league because the whole league deserved it. The whole league's been around and didn't do anything until last year.
So
and again, there's only one reason
should
for
Simone Biles have given up her gold medal?
No, of course not.
But the rest of the league.
She's a twit, by the way. You see what she said this week? She went after Riley Gaines. That's just stupid.
Saw that. I just saw Riley's video earlier today.
By the way, I am a 100%, and this is probably going to be a hot water subject. I am a 100% advocate of girls' sports. In this age of transgender athletes playing in girls' sports, no, they should not be. I am not saying they don't have the rights to have sports, but they should either be playing on the men's team or a transgender league. You should not have males playing on female teams.
Well, because even on hormones, I think it's been proven that like they're still going to have a size difference and a strength difference.
Yep.
To the females.
Yes. So anyway, Simone Biles is an idiot going after Riley Gaines for that this week over the Minnesota softball team. You know that's what that was about, right? The girls' Minnesota softball team state champions.
Riley's a swimmer, though, isn't she?
Yep. Their star pitcher is a boy. And he pitched like 72 shutout. Like he shut out 70 batters in a row.
No, but I thought...
So Riley is a big advocate for no transgenders in girls sports.
Okay.
So she posted a lot about the Minnesota girls championship team winning because of their star pitcher who's a boy.
I just saw Riley's response video where
Simone went after Riley for that.
Yeah, and then I only saw
Simone who 8 years ago said that she was getting bullied for being too muscular, that she lived a life of being bullied for being muscular as a girl.
Well, Riley brought that up too.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
Yeah.
And I was like, oop, yep, that makes Simone look bad.
But back to the WNBA. So it's not that I don't like women's sports. I love women's sports. I think women's sports should be as prevalent as they can be. Do good business. That's the bottom line for me. Do good business. WNBA has done as good a business as they can do for 20 plus years. Somebody comes into the league that can elevate all of them. That means they all can see an increase in their income, in their contracts. They all can see an increase in merch sales. They all benefit from a new TV deal. They all benefit from more viewership.
Here's my thing, though.
They all benefit from more people in the seats. And what happens with more people in the seats? You get a player, Brittany Griner, who complained that who were all these people coming to the arena?
That pissed me off.
It's annoying. Like, we're supposed to play and entertain them.
That would be like Taylor Swift looking out at the crowd and being like,
why are you guys here?
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Yes. They're complaining that she's packing arenas.
They're just jealous because it's not.
Then you know what, Brittany Griner, you should give up your paycheck.
That's jealousy. Again, that is the ugly green beast.
And she got caught on camera saying some racial things about Caitlyn.
Oh yeah, I saw on the sidelines.
Mm-hmm.
I did see that.
Yep. And nothing got done about it. But if you flip that script and a white girl said it about a black girl, there would be hell to pay. So they're putting
There'd be hell
themselves in
to
a
pay
lot
regardless
of
if it
bad
was
positions
the
right
was
now.
the NBA.
Yes, but the WNBA is actively shooting themselves in the foot.
It's
just
almost
doing
like they
bad
like.
business.
So here's the thing: it's almost like they like the drama and think that the drama is going to bring more viewership.
But it's a simple
such
fact
a bad look.
Caitlyn got hurt and everything went.
Yeah.
Ticket sales tanked, viewership tanked,
my
everything
thing.
tanked.
You just said a minute or two ago that they've done the best business that they could the last 20 or so years, right?
They did the best business they could do, I guess, with what they've got.
But
there's not a demand for women's basketball like there is men's.
Why couldn't they have done some like good marketing though and figured out ways to try and create a demand the last 20 years?
Great question.
That's my thing. Like why did it take one 22-year-old girl joining the league?
Generational player. Why does Taylor Swift sell out stadiums?
But the league should.
The same thing.
Yeah, but even when Taylor Swift entered the scene as a country artist and blew the hell up at the young age that she was, country music was still a very successful industry
Yes.
even before her. So why couldn't the WNBA, why haven't they been successful in their own right as an organization before she came along? That's on them.
Well, it is on them a bit, but female sports in general will and I don't mean to belittle female sports. I don't believe
No, but
they'll ever draw.
it's true.
They'll never draw men numbers.
Because most of the time the men are the die-hard sports fans,
Right.
that spend all the money on the paraphernalia and the tickets and the tailgating and everything else.
I would love to see nothing more than them be successful.
But
now that they're being
the problem
successful,
is that all
they're going
these
to kill the cash cow.
all these like bro die-hard sports fans don't want to see women's sports. I think there's still a big like misogynistic viewpoint. Like,
I don't know about that. I've watched some of the games because I started paying attention to the situation. And I watched some of the games. And I'm not a basketball fan to begin with. I do like basketball.
I don't get
I won't go
basketball.
seek
I'm
out
sorry.
basketball, right? At this point in my life, I don't go seek out sports a lot except for football and the Mets. And, I'm stuck with two teams who like to tease you with decent things and then die in the end anyway. Although the Mets look great this season, but they looked great last year too, and that sucked when it came to the playoffs. But I've gone and watched a few WNBA games now, and not Caitlin games, just like
In
a
general.
quarter here, a quarter there, just to see. And it's good ball. It's not, oh my God, ball, but they're doing some good things. There is,
I just don't get basketball in general.
I mean, and that's the other thing. You got to be a basketball fan to like it. But they're just not drawing. But women's sports in general, look at women's soccer, world women's soccer. They're only
but
doing
that's what I'm
small
saying.
numbers as well.
That's what I'm saying, though. Because just like how a lot of times when it comes to, obviously, okay, the females rule the market when it comes to shopping
Okay.
in general.
Okay.
When it comes to like clothes
I have
shop,
no idea where we're going with this.
clothes shopping, blah, blah, blah. Like that's primarily female market. Sports and
Oh, I see where you're going now.
Yeah,
Marketing and,
like,
and promotion and press. Gotcha.
it's that's always, I feel like that's always primarily, especially in America, been the men.
Yeah,
It's
but
the bros, the dudes.
but
like,
when the WNBA doesn't have the budget to spend on bigger ads, then what do?
get more freaking creative with the
But
ads
now
you're
what did
doing.
he do? They find a
They
player
have
like
social media and
but
everything
they find
now.
a player like Caitlin Clark, who is literally tripling their business, and they're doing all they can to get rid of her.
No, I agree with that.
And that's just, is that jealousy? Is that, and I hate to say the word, is that racial? Because a young white girl came into the league that prides themselves on all their black talent, and she's not out playing. She is a great player, and she's doing. I mean, she was rookie of the year without a doubt. But there were better players in the league than her across the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't the GOAT of the league. She was the standout business wise. She was the standout promotionally, the standout ticket sales, the standout draw. She was the standout. There were better players on the court.
Yeah,
than her.
but I'd bet you anything that.
But that's going back to where I say, Dream Theater or the Winery Dogs are infinitely more talented than Taylor Swift will ever be. But she's a better performer.
Well, but I think that I'd bet you money that the commissioner and different people in charge with the WNBA are probably almost too afraid to go too far in that direction to capitalize off of her popularity because they're so afraid of how much that'll piss off all their jealous players.
And that's a fine line to draw. You have to keep all of your players happy. But when they're hacking at the girl's head, you have to set a precedent.
Well, yeah,
that's not acceptable.
They're completely allowing like the ethical guidelines to just fly out the frickin' window, and the moral guidelines.
And the referees
not
are not
camaraderie.
the
That's
referees
not-
are not calling fouls that they're black and white fouls. They're obviously fouls.
Caitlin Clark's team's coach is
has
pissed,
started calling
right?
them out. Yeah.
Yeah. But now the commissioner and different members of the head honchos of the WNBA are trying to silence her about it.
Of course.
Because she's stirring the pot in a way that they don't
There was
like.
a media company who was trying to cover it, but they were covering the whole picture.
Mm-hmm.
WNBA won't credential them because they don't want anybody who's showing the side they don't want you to see. Outkick.
It's just crazy
Outkick
to me.
Sports.
It's
I believe
just-
it's Outkick Sports.
It's just
Could not get credentialed for 2 games to go interview players because they have spoken negatively about the WNBA on their sources, on their platform. And
because the WNBA is doing shit that deserves to be negatively spoken about.
I agree.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I
agree.
Like from a business, I
and-
agree. From a business perspective, looking at this, it just mind boggles me because
And you get someone like an Angel Reese, who's a very outspoken proponent against Caitlin Clark. Now, they came out of college with a rivalry. And Angel Reese, LSU, I believe, won the national championship over Caitlin's team. Angel Reese thought she was the big deal. Came into the league. Caitlin got drafted first.
Well, she was maybe the big deal, like at her college, or
Maybe, but in the WNBA, she's tanking. She's got the worst
the one video
shot
you
percentage
sent
in the
me
league.
that
I
they
think.
don't even bother defending her. During
They don't
her
defend her. They don't.
three-point
There's nothing to
shots.
defend. If that girl's at the 3-point line, just go sit in a chair and wait for her to miss. She's gonna miss. If she's doing a layup, she is the number one, I believe, number one rebounder in the league. But 60% of the rebounds are her own shots. She'll miss 3 layups in a row and grab all 3 rebounds because she's 6'5". So her numbers for rebounds are off the charts, but she's missing fundamental layups that I could make, that you could make, and she's getting 3 or 4 rebounds per exchange. So her numbers on rebounds look amazing until you back her rebounds out. And then you go look at her shot stats, and she was just, I think last night, she was like 3 for 17 on the floor in the paint, and like 0 for 4 on anything outside the line. And she got benched the other night because the team needed a win. How she's still playing the game, I don't know. But you get a player like that who's all ego and no substance is the loudest complainer.
Didn't some media outlet or someone from the WNBA try and say that they thought she was going to be like the next, like the Michael Jordan of the WNBA?
Yep.
And a lot of like sports commentators and different outlets were laughing their asses off at that.
Yep.
And here's my thing too, from a business perspective with this from what I understand of this WNBA stuff. From everything that I saw, comments and all these different videos that are going viral about it, the videos themselves and the commentary in them, the commentary from these different sports, sports newscasters and just commentative shows, they're all saying the same thing, and they're all bashing the WNBA.
Rightfully so.
And are disgusted by them right now.
Rightfully so.
So in what right mind, as someone running that organization, do you want that type of just constant bad press and people bashing your organization?
Someone
like
who's
that?
not in it for the bigger picture of the business. Someone who is in it because their ego is butthurt because they failed as the GMs. They failed as the owners. They failed as the commissioners. And this girl came along and showed them how to do it, and they are butthurt. So instead of embracing it, they're trying to squash it. And when she's finally out of league,
but in turn,
when they
they're
finally
going to
drive her to Europe,
destroy this business that they're so adamant that
yes,
they
they'll be back to where they were in 2023. And when she decides, you know what, I have had enough of this, and I'm going to go to Europe and make 4 times the money that the U.S. gets paid.
The amount of comments I saw in these videos, like just saying, like, Caitlin, just go to Europe and be happy.
She can make 3 times the money and probably not deal with any of this there.
Yeah. Which begs another question, like, why is it always just American sports?
Oh, because we're Americans, we're idiots.
Like, Jesus Christ, guys.
I want to get back to something, though, real quick. Just because I want to clarify something. We spoke earlier about the transgender stuff. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you do. I'm a very do no harm person. You could be a guy, you could be a girl, you could be a turtle, you could identify as a cat. I'll get you a litter box and feed you kibble. I don't care. You do you. Do no harm, though. Keep it out of schools because I have two
Leave
kids
the kids alone.
I have two kids in school. Keep it out of schools. That's my job, not yours. And keep it out of sports. If you are a transgender male, look, I'm not the biggest guy. I'm 5'4", 160. You're taller than me. You're probably in some ways stronger than me. But if we played sports, I've probably could outdo you without any question.
Probably, yeah.
You know, I work with a girl who is in as good a shape as anybody I know, and we get on a bench and I can outlift her. It's not about men. It's not about who you want to be or identify as. Don't care about that. It's a basic biological fact of chromosomes. And guys are stronger than girls in every aspect most of the time.
Yeah.
And case in point, so to qualify for the Olympics, in sprinting for a 100-yard dash, you have to run a minimum of a 10-second 100. Minimum. To make it on the male team on any Olympic country, for any country going to the Olympics, to make it onto the team, you have to run a minimum of 10 seconds. Which means no woman in history would have ever qualified for the Olympics if it was all set at the same standard.
I was just going to say, well, that's why historically there's always been
the fastest
different
woman ever was at
parameters.
10.45. That's a half a second off.
Because our legs are shorter. We're shorter.
Well, it's not even that, because if you could be 5'11", you're still not running as fast as the guys. No offense. This is just simple fact. The fastest woman in history in 100 was 10.45 or 10.48. That means of all of the women who have ever gone to the Olympics, not a single one would qualify at the men's standards. And that goes for the 100, 200, 400, 800, 1600. It's not about who you want to be. I mean, hell, we watched 2 male boxers fight for the women's gold last year. That's a fact.
Oh,
It's not about that.
All right, this comment is really going to...
It's simply about keep it out of sports and keep it out of schools. That's
This
the
is
only
gonna-
thing it is for me. Be whoever you want. I have transgender friends. I've lived in a community with a ton of transgenders and gays. None of it bothers me. I'm a do no harm person. You be you. I really don't care what you do as long as you do no harm. So, just again.
I think the point you were just making, though, and I think what I'm about to say is it's gonna piss off some people probably, but
I'm gonna go over.
I'm a very factually based person, and I try to be very logistical about and like critical thinking about things, and I don't like hypocrites or liars and whatnot. Because again, I'm also very like just do no harm kind of person, and I think that
Star Wars Cup.
being overly hypocritical or judgmental and lying a ton, like that can cause some serious harm in a multitude of ways. But so your point with it doesn't, what did you say? It doesn't matter about like gender or whatever else. Like the point is like biologically with chromosomes and this and that. But it's kind of funny to me because a lot of people in that community that get very emotional regarding, the transgender rights and pushing for all of this, they'll say, because a lot of times people who are a little less in that community will sit there and say, yeah, but at the end of the day, like you may present as the opposite sex, but at the end of the day, your DNA is your DNA. You are still biologically what you were born.
Yes.
And their biggest rebuttal to that will always be like, well, there's a difference between sex and gender. Saying that sex is one thing scientifically, but gender is something you can choose. And it's like, so if that's the case and gender is something that you can choose, and just start doing everything as if you were the other gender, and like you're pushing for trans women to be in women's sports even though they're still biologically a man, like you're agreeing because you're saying there's a difference between sex and gender. And when, like, I feel like that would make their brains implode.
Well,
If you pointed that out to them. Like, they're being kind of hypocritical, no?
yes.
To sit there and say, like, well, they should be able to do everything and blah, 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 blah. But, like, well, yeah, but there's a difference between sex and gender. Yeah, but, like, and it's like, you're not making sense with what you're saying. Like, you're negating yourself in those statements.
Okay, so a simple way to look at it, and it was funny to watch. Candace Owens had an interview about 3 weeks ago, and she was with a transgender activist, and he happened to be black as she is, and she was saying that there are just two genders, and he was saying anybody can be anybody. Anybody can be who they want, and you have to respect that. And she went, okay, then talk to me about Rachel Dolezal. You know who that is? Mm-mm. She was a white girl who wanted to be black.
Oh, God.
And patterned her life as a black person. And had procedures done and hair changed and everything to be black. And she said, so she's a black girl. And he's like, oh, no. She can't be black. She's a white girl. And she turned around and she's like, well, no. You can't have it both ways. And to watch
that
the
mentality
reasoning,
can't apply to gender and not to culture.
Exactly. If anybody can be whoever they want to be, then she can be a black girl. No, she cannot be a black girl. Well, then that's a dude. And that's are gender and sex two different things? Sure. Okay, let's look at that. Gender and sex are two different things.
But if your
sex is male,
yes,
then you are a male. You can be whoever you want to be over here.
Out in society.
But if you are a male, keep it out of sports. Mm-hmm. Keep it out of fair play.
That was my point.
That's all. That's it.
That was my point. If you're agreeing that there's a difference between sex and gender, sex is your biology and gender is just how you choose to present yourself and live your life.
I'm a unicorn. Did you know that?
Okay, but then by biologically speaking, men are different than women. And therefore, it's not an even match. Oh, it's not an even match or an even playing field.
Then you fall down.
When it comes to like 99% of sports and activities.
True.
So what's the disconnect here? And
the
then
disconnect
there's a lot
is the disconnect is the 98% are catering to the 2%.
Yeah.
Because the 2% are yelling louder.
There's a lot of people.
And instead of dealing with the epidemic of mental illness, we are going along with the people screaming the loudest.
Well, that's kind of always been a historically accurate take, I feel like. Which I don't think it should be, but
and when you it also goes to in some cases it also goes to things like the parents. I have seen someone on the Piers Morgan show who's like, well, my 2-year-old boy decided he wants to wear dresses. I'm like, I think you put your 2-year-old boy in a dress, because my 2-year-old boy never asked once about his dress.
Even if the 2-year-old boy, let's say he had 4 older sisters and they like to use him as a dress-up doll all the time and they would put him in dresses. So one day the boy was like, oh, like, I'm going to wear the dress because he thinks that that's normal because that's what his sisters always do to him. That doesn't mean he's automatically transgender.
No.
But I feel like that's the extreme that so many people just jump to and they're like, oh my God, okay,
and
well,
she
we have
has
to start
3
doing
children,
this.
and all 3 of her children were transgender. And they were all like 2, 5, and 7 or something like that. And they were all transgender.
That's fucked up.
That's a parent's decision. That's
fucked up. I'm sorry, like, excuse my French, but like there's no other response to that.
Yeah, absolutely true.
That child is so far from mentally developed.
And
you're going to stunt their growth. You're going to mess them up.
I'm also sorry to say this. No, take it however you want to take it. No surgery on a child. Do not do if they can't go in the military, buy a gun, get a driver's license.
If they can't make the
go
damn
to the
choice
liquor
for
store,
themselves,
they can't do anything like that. They cannot get gender affirming surgery at 11 years old.
That's no.
That's another one of my rules. Keep it out of schools. Keep it out of schools. Keep it out of sports, and don't have surgery on a minor.
Have you seen all the people speaking out about the fact that they're now detransitioning, and they 100% regret transitioning, especially the people that did it when they were like
And
teenagers.
studies have shown, well, the advocates will tell you that the mental health suffers if they're forced to stay who they were biologically at birth. But the studies are showing that the ones who have transitioned early have farther, deeper psychological problems.
That makes sense. Because they put their bodies through all this trauma before they were even developed.
And they can't go back.
Not truly. Especially if they had surgeries.
You cut your penis off, you're not going back.
No. You mean you don't... You mean they can't do an addictomy?
It's a great question. Let's just Google have on that one.
That was something that my dad said once, just like, I forget what the conversation was about, but it just like came out of his mouth. And
How did we get on this from the WNBA?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I was
totally
wondering
random
the
shit. That's what
same
we do.
thing.
That's why it's totally
Sorry,
random.
you're talking to two like ADD tangent.
You had H. When I was a kid, there was no H. It was just ADD because you were 7. You're supposed to be hyper. And then they put the H in because they had to justify the hyper that 7-year-olds have. I don't understand it. And I have 2 ADHD kids. So
Anyway,
Yes.
It sucks from a business perspective. I do agree with you. I don't understand what the hell they're doing.
we're back to the WNBA. Yes, they're doing bad business.
Yes, I'm trying to bring us back.
Yes,
Because
they're
we
doing
only
very
have about
bad
8 minutes
business
left.
right now. We actually have, look at that. They are doing very bad business by not capitalizing. Look, maybe you want to keep the spread out to all the players, right? You want to promote all the players. You want to promote the league. Great. She's giving you the means to do that. She's bringing more eyes, more TV, more people in the seats to lift everybody. Instead of lifting everybody, they're making it a crusade against her.
Yeah.
That's wrong. It's bad business. It is. It's really bad business.
Well,
What are your thoughts on that? What do you think?
they probably feel like they have to because of the vitriol from the other players.
Then you tell your players to shut up.
I know. Stop being jealous
Stop
little
being
bitches.
a petty little jealous bitch. Hey, you're
You
complaining.
can benefit from
You're
this.
complaining about your $78,000 salary. Would you like 100? I would love 100. Then keep your mouth shut, because we can pay you the 100 if this works.
Is that really all they make?
I know that Angel Reese was bitching that, and I love this. My pay is only $78,000, and I have $8,000 a month in rent. This is not good. Why are you renting an $8,000?
Baby
apartment?
girl, that's your mistake.
And that literally, you could look that one up.
That's your
You
stupid
can look that up.
decision.
She lives beyond her means and then complains about her salary.
That's a lot of people, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. But now when the opportunity now presents itself for you to make $200,000, and you're gonna try to get rid of it.
Because she can't put her pride aside for 2 seconds or her ego.
And it's not just her. I've
Or
used
her
her name a few
or the
times.
entitlement.
And I've used her name only because she's the biggest mouth of all of them in the league. She's the one running her mouth the loudest.
Brittany seems to be doing a lot of that, too.
Oh, Griner's a... The shame is
Did you
Griner's...
see all the comments with her where they're like, why did they bring her back from Russia?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, oh, man. Okay.
Well, she also kneeled for an anthem last year. They had just brought her back from Russia,
she
and she
was
kneeled
one of
for an anthem.
those.
I'm like, wow, we should have left you there.
That's not good.
Anyway.
I don't know.
So let us know what you think.
Sportsmanship is...
It's just bad business. That's what it is for me.
Yeah.
I look at things like a business person, and that's just bad business. So
They're harming themselves more than they're helping themselves.
Penny has been a wonderful resource on this show.
Attribute to this, yeah.
She wasn't running that today. On our last show, she was running in her sleep. It was kind of awesome.
Yeah. She's just zonked right now.
Yeah. And you can't
In the
see Apollo.
same-
Apollo's down on the
She
ground.
chooses the same position every time, though, and it
looks very
hurts-
comfortable.
Yeah, but it hurts my knee
Aw.
after a while.
Aw.
If you see me, I keep like going like this, and she's just so KO'd, she doesn't care.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, you're kind of like subluxating my knee.
So
right
let us
now.
know what you think in the comments. Don't be a dickhead about your comments. If you have an opposing view, present it nicely. we're all about getting the opposing view. Just don't be a douchebag about it.
Everyone's allowed to their own perspectives. Just because someone chooses to live life differently than you doesn't mean they're wrong or they're a horrible person.
And I've said it a million times. Just don't do any harm.
Yeah.
Do no harm. Be you. Identify as a toaster. I'll butter bread and stick it in your ass. I don't care.
What?
But just do no harm.
Sorry, Penn. I woke you up.
Really don't care.
You just made me snort and whistle all in one.
Well, on that note.
On butter toast and stick it in your ass? What?
It's true. Just do no harm. Be a good human being, which seems to be really hard for a lot of people. Just be a good
nowadays,
human being.
That's a whole different topic for another day.
Yeah.
The entitlement is real, and the mental health is real, and the yeah, and the living life via your emotions is real. Yeah. Anyway, this turned into a heavier topic than we anticipated.
I blame the dog.
Tangent.
I blame the dog.
Yeah, Penny definitely was the one that brought up those transgenders.
Yes.
The other dog is here as well.
And Apollo identifies as a Chihuahua because he likes to just sit on you.
The 100-pound dog. The 100-pound loaf.
What's his mix again?
Literally the most gentle, just quiet, whatever. Yeah, identifies.
He's a pit bull and a German Shepherd.
We did a DNA panel on him right after we got him years ago, and those were his top two, if that thing's correct.
Pit bull and German Shepherd, and he's like the sweetest, mushiest dog in the world.
Yeah,
but he's 100 pounds, and if you sit down, he sits on top of you like, "Hi."
Yeah,
I'm a lap dog.
He follows you around like a duckling. Like he just wants to be near you. He needs to have eyes on you all the time.
He's adorable.
He is. He's a good boy. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yep.
I know this is again a hot topic right now. Please be kind. Have productive discussions.
Just be a good person.
Yeah.
Don't
be a dick.
Yeah, that's a great place to be. It's just being a good human being. So, on that note, I'm Tag.
I'm Brie.
We'll see you guys next week. This is the Totally Random Thoughts podcast.
Make sure to follow us on all the social platforms,
yes.
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all that fun stuff. You can listen to us pretty much wherever podcasts are available besides Apple because they still don't like our logo for some reason.
Like our logo.
Literally, that's the only reason why we can't get on Apple is because
I'm gonna keep trying.
They don't like our logo. Yeah. I don't know what it is. It's a pretty standard logo if you ask me. Yeah. I like it, but Apple doesn't seem to, so we're still trying on that. We'll let you know as soon as we can get that rectified. And that's about it. Are we gonna be on Plymouth Rock again?
I can talk to him right now. We don't have a TV deal, but I might be able to. Might be able to get us back on TV. Our first season was available on Plymouth Rock TV, Amazon Fire, and you can still go see it on a few other places. But Plymouth Rock is Plymouth Rock TV, and on their app was definitely the easiest place to find it. We were on like 10 places last year for TV, but we don't currently have a TV deal.
We'll let you know if that changes.
I could see if I can make that happen again.
Yeah, we'll let you know if that changes. Let us know what you would like to hear us talk about next. Literally any subject.
Yep. We've got a bunch in the queue, or we could just go and do Am I the Asshole one again because I just saw
those are so much fun.
Yeah.
We may have our first guest of the season here next week to record.
Maybe.
Oh, Penny. Wow.
Penny's our first guest.
She's like, I'm what?
Hi, honey.
She's like, I'm what? I am? I'm here.
Star Wars Bottle, we'll see you again next week.
Tradition. I literally have to pull that out of the cabinet every week.
Every time.
Hi. You stink.
Thanks for coming. See ya.
Bye, guys.